Hello and welcome to another edition of the Bastard Review. This time around I'm looking at WWF's 1996 Royal Rumble. This event took place January 21st, 1996 at the Selland Arena in Fresno, California. We start off the night with the very first free-for-all show, a 30-minute program designed to bring in more viewers for the actual pay-per-view. Todd Pettengill interviews Jake the Snake Roberts, while Michael Hayes, under the guise of Dot Hendricks, interviews Vader and Jim Cornette, both of which are thankfully short. Our first match of the night sees Hunter Hearst Helmsley take on Duke the Dumpster Droese to determine their entrance into the Rumble. Obviously, the winner will get the coveted number 30 spot, while the loser begins at number 1. Hunter starts off pretty strong, targeting Duke's left arm, assuming so he can't catch Hunter with his tilt-a-whirl power slam finisher. The tables turn when Hunter goes high risk, only to come down on one of Duke's raised boots. From here, it takes on a Dusty Rhodes type finish where Duke backs Hunter into a corner, and when Duke pulls back to punch Hunter, he accidentally elbows the ref in the face. Hunter goes for a pair of brass knuckles and lays Duke out for the pin. Just when Hunter thinks he's number 30, out comes WWF President Gorilla Monsoon to show the referee an instant replay, and the finish is reversed. Duke wins by disqualification. It's a pretty good way to get the crowd cheering, because during the actual match they're pretty quiet. And given that both wrestlers are pretty new and somewhat bland, I don't blame them. I mean, Hunter is supposed to be some English aristocrat, and yet Mr. McMahon, who's part of the announce team aside current Hennig, Mr. Perfect, says the guy is from Connecticut, and he's facing a glorified garbage man. This doesn't necessarily scream out engaging opening match, but all things considered, it's an okay start. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Up next, Double J, Jeff Jarrett takes on Ahmed Johnson, and I gotta say, the outfit Jeff comes out in truly has to be seen to be believed. I realize this is the mid-90s, but did Jeff seriously think it looked cool? This match came about after Jeff attacked Ahmed at In Your House 5 the previous month. As I've stated in the past, I am not a fan of Jeff Jarrett. I find him to be a very bland wrestler, even as a heel, but I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. This is a serviceable match that ends poorly. Jeff starts off strong, but Ahmed really shows his naivety by failing to sell a lot of Jeff's offense. At one point, Jeff gets his arm caught in the ropes after an attempted clothesline that Jeff ducks out of, and I have to wonder if that was on purpose or due to Ahmed's inexperience. He's only been wrestling for WWF since October of '95. Regardless, it looked like it hurts, and Ahmed is lucky he didn't dislocate his shoulder. Jeff wisely targets that shoulder and tries to wind Ahmed down. Ahmed bounces back, and after Jeff rolls out of the ring, Ahmed whips himself into a suicide dive over the ropes onto a prone Jeff, which really gets the crowd roaring. Even I have to admit, seeing a big guy like Ahmed pull that off is impressive. Sadly, he goes high risk after rolling Jeff back into the ring, and the tables turn again. Then an odd thing happens. Jeff grabs his guitar, climbs the ropes, and gets disqualified when he brings the guitar down on Ahmed's head. Really? That's the finish? What a terrible, underwhelming ending. What the hell was the booker thinking? I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. After that, the Smoking Guns, Bart and Billy, defend their tag team titles against the Bodydonnas, Skip and Zip. Fans of ECW and Smoky Mountain Wrestling will recognize both men as Chris Candido and Tom Pritchard, along with Sunny, Chris's real-life girlfriend, Tammy Lynn Sitch. The Donnas spend most of the match in charge with some standard heelish tactics. Tammy is at her best keeping the Guns and referee's attention so that Skip and Zip can take advantage like a good heel valet. They also make great use of frequent tags, dual moves, and even trick the referee by trading places, something the Bello twins will do years later. The Guns can never seem to gain momentum, but they manage to get in some decent defense and pull out a hot tag midway through. Ultimately, try as they might, the Donnas are unable to pick up the victory and win the titles when they go for a dual suplex on Bart that Billy stops by tackling Zip, allowing Bart to roll up Skip in a small package for the pin. A good match that had the crowd cheering even if the end did come out of nowhere. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. For months, Razor Ramon has been stalked by the Bizarro and Goldust, and finally tonight Ramon gets to beat the tar out of the guy for his unwarranted attentions. Exactly why Ramon agrees to put the Intercontinental title on the line is anyone's guess. Perhaps he figures he can't lose? Goldust comes down with an unknown valet to the announcers, but we all recognize her as Marlena, or Dustin Runnels' then wife Terry Runnels. This was a difficult match to get through for the sheer fact that neither wrestler really interests me. Things start off very slowly and never really pick up steam. Goldust does a good job of getting under Ramon's skin with effeminate tactics like blowing kisses and feeling himself up. And there's even an amusing moment where Ramon pushes him and then smacks Goldust's ass, which Goldust seems to enjoy. I feel the outside interference by Marlena is pretty unwarranted. It's not as though Ramon has the upper hand at any time. The end sees Marlena distract the referee as Ramon brings Goldust down with a second rope belly-to-back suplex, but before he can cover Goldust, his former partner, the 1-2-3 Kid, interferes with a terrible-looking spinning heel kick. Goldust gets the pin and thus becomes Intercontinental Champion. It's not a terrible match, but I really question the logic behind the title being on the line. I'm giving this a charitable 4 out of 10. Oh, you didn't know? The Rumble is one of my favorite types of matches. I think I like most is the chaos of it all. Just about anything can happen, and you don't know who's coming out or when. Funny to see who comes out in silly cartoon gimmicks, only to be major players a couple years later, whether it be Triple H as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, or Steve Austin as the Ringmaster, or Kane as Isaac Yankem. It's vastly amusing to see how out of touch the WWF was with where wrestling should be in 1996. And sadly, I can't count this Rumble as one of my favorites. Sure, there are some greats like Owen Hart or Shawn Michaels or the British Bulldog, but then you've also got people in it that have seen better days like Jerry Lawler or Jake the Snake Roberts or Bob Backlund. Should I even mention Doug Gilbert or Barry Horowitz? There's really nothing of consequence that occurs during the Rumble, so I'll just give you some stats. Hunter stays in the ring the longest at 48 minutes, 1 second. SWAT team member number 2 the shortest at 24 seconds. Shawn Michaels has the most eliminations with 7 plus 1 assisted by Diesel on Owen Hart. In addition to Kane, Steve Austin, and Triple H, there are some more notable wrestlers making their Rumble appearance here. Just Incredible, VCW fame, as Aldo Montoya. Fatu will go on later to become Rikishi. The 1-2-3 Kid is X-Pac. And King Mabel is Viscera. A pretty so-so Rumble, and I'm not really thrilled about Shawn Michaels winning a second year in a row. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. Finally, we come to the main event, and definitely the best match of the night, even though that's not saying much, as Bret Hart defends his WWF Championship against The Undertaker. Taker sporting a stupid purple match he's been wearing ever since Mabel leg dropped Taker's face and supposedly broke some facial bones. Thankfully, Bret rips it off his face during the match. To me, it looks goofy, and I wonder who thought it was a good idea. As Taker's coming down to the ring, Diesel attacks him on his way up from the Rumble. The referee tears them apart, but it's amusing to hear Diesel shout, "I'm not afraid of the dark." I'm also not sure why Taker is getting a title shot here, perhaps winning a #1 contendership previously. There's no story going into this match to my knowledge. Taker spends the beginning of the match in control as he strong-arms Bret with punches and holds. We even see what will come to be called old school, an arm twist rope walk chop. Bret fights back with diving clothesline off the second ropes and a clothesline sending Taker over the ropes. But Taker regains control when he catches Bret mid-dive and rams him into the outside of the turnbuckle. From there it's back and forth until Bret sends Taker into the steps knees first. Ouch. Then Bret wisely focuses on Taker's left leg with kicks and drops and locks in a figure 4 leg lock. We have some more back and forth, and I have to be amused that when Bret gains control, there are some audible jeers from the crowd. I wouldn't think Taker would be a fan favorite, but I guess he is. There's a nice segment where Bret sends Taker down with a Russian leg sweep, but Taker sits right back up. Bret responds by giving him a bulldog and a cover that Taker kicks out of. He then gives Taker a backbreaker and a diving elbow drop for good measure to keep him down. But just when you think Bret has the match sewn up with a sharpshooter, Taker grabs Bret by the neck and, rising, sends a knee into Bret's abdomen. Unfortunately, the end is ruined when Taker, after losing his mask and his face being slammed into an exposed turnbuckle, puts Bret into a tombstone piledriver and pin, only for the referee to be pulled out of the ring by Diesel mid-count. The official calls for the bell and it's announced that Bret is disqualified due to outside interference, and while Taker wins, the title doesn't change hands. Now, how does that make sense? Diesel wasn't interfering on behalf of Bret. If anything, the match should be declared a no contest due to outside interference. Honestly, it's a lousy way to end the match and the pay-per-view. It wouldn't be so bad if the rest of the card wasn't littered with disqualifications and outside interference. Seriously, every match in some way had either one or the other or both. I really expected better. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Overall, Royal Rumble 1996 is more miss than hit. The wrestlers are either bland, too cartoonish, or both, and the matches themselves leave a lot to be desired. I can see why later on in the year WCW will dominate the ratings. At this point, WWF is clueless. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and please tune in again when I review another wrestling show in my library or anything else that crosses my path.